Welcome in, along with Bruce Gradkowski. I'm Steve Palazzolo, and this is your Ryan Finley NFL Draft Profile, all brought to you by PFF Edge and Elite. All right, Bruce, we look at this quarterback class, and Ryan Finley's kind of a forgotten guy, but he has some NFL-type skills. I think he's going to be playing in the league for a long time. I think the question, though, is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be a backup? What have you seen from Finley on film?
Man, I'm impressed. Yeah. I like this guy. I think he's a smooth operator. You know, his arm strength, it might not be the greatest, but he has enough arm to make all the throws. He's athletic enough. The thing that gets me about him that I really like is his poise in the pocket. And that's like the poise where you're sitting there, you got a receiver downfield about 15 to 18 yards. You have the poise and trajectory to lay it over linebackers, and he has that poise already. And as a college quarterback, that's one of the hardest things to adapt to the next level.
So I agree with a couple of things you said. First off, the arm strength. It did feel like, and I may have been overweighing these games a little bit, but when he had to face better competition against Clemson back in 2016, it stood out. Against Clemson this past year, throwing balls outside the numbers, deep outs, deep comebacks, felt like they were all getting knocked down. And that was, it seemed like an issue, but the more I watched his film, he might not have the pure zip, but you mentioned the layering and his ability to just have a good feel for back shouldering throws. I think he's got a feel for a lot of NFL throws. So even if he doesn't have the zip necessarily, I like the touch and his ability to get the ball down the field.
And his touch, but it matches up with his footwork. You know, so he's already executing NFL-type footwork that matches up with his routes downfield. So it's going to be an easier transition for him going from college to the NFL. When I watch him at the Senior Bowl, the guy can operate in an NFL offense right now. So I'm impressed with this dude. Like I have him top of the list. Like I group him in with some of those top guys we're talking about.
So we've put him in the third round, the same place we've put third rounder Daniel Jones, who's getting that top 15 hype. So we do believe in Finley as a guy kind of throw in the NFL. Can he add a little bit more zip? I'd rather have a guy that needs to add a little bit more arm than a guy that needs to redo his accuracy. And I think Finley's a pretty accurate quarterback. I was really impressed with him, too, just running boot action. You talk about NFL-type concepts. He comes out of the boot, and he just has a good feel for the field, sees the field, makes good decisions. And I was impressed with his pocket mobility because, again, just watching him as a college player, I'm like, all right, he's not the best athlete in the world, but when you watch it throw for throw and you just watch all the times that he kind of escaped and made some plays, it was way more than I expected to see on film.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's more athletic than you would assume. You know, tall, thin, lanky guy. Is he like a Ryan Mallett? Is he a Tannehill? I kind of think he goes towards like a Josh McCown in my book. You know, he just seems like a reliable player. I think the locker room, he's a guy the locker room will love and gravitate towards. So I really like this guy. And when you talk about learning to put more zip on the ball or touch or whatever, you learn those things through the NFL, how to make those throws and what type of ball you need to throw to complete it. So with him, he could get away with in college to have a little more float to it. So hopefully at the next level, he's able to add some zip on the throws necessary to complete it. But I like the guy. I think, like I said, he's smooth. He has the poise. And from what I'm hearing, his leadership qualities I like.
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. And if you look at the PFF grading, we're talking about a guy that's been in the high 80s the last couple of years. Now, when you do break it down, there were some really good games against lesser competition, and especially last season against the better ACC competition, there was a big drop-off. So there are some question marks there, but Finley reminds me a little bit. I called him Andy Dalton Light on Twitter a few weeks back. You know, I think he's got a lot of those tools that you can win with. You just get him in and see what you can get. As far as, to me, third round, I think he's at least a good backup with starting potential.
And the thing I like, too, is when I look at these guys coming out in the draft, of what have they been through? And Finley's been through some tough where he's at Boise, he gets beat out, facing, dealing with a few injuries, has to transfer. Look, he earned a degree in 3 years. I mean, that's pretty impressive, so I'm still trying to work on mine. But
you still need to?
I got it. I got it from the University of Toledo, business degree.
We won't hold it against you.
Marketing and management.
Our analytics people tell me that you were worth half of a win in your career, so
I'm
take
impressed.
It. You're half a win.
I might have to come out of retirement now that I see.
To get the whole win?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if Ryan Finley can be worth more than half a win in his career. It's your Ryan Finley NFL Draft Profile, all brought to you by PFF Edge and Elite.